Ho, ho, ho! Hello there! It is so very good to see you. It's me, Santa Claus. I was just settling in here by the fire and thought I might enjoy some company. And well, here you are. I'm so very glad you are. I was hoping we could spend a little time together. There's no rush here, no grand schedule to keep. This is just a quiet corner of the world for you to relax and listen for a while. Over the course of our visit, I thought I might share a few stories from the North Pole, perhaps read a letter or two, and maybe even answer some of the questions that find their way to me. Sometimes I'll simply share a thought that wanders through my mind, a little bit of wonder I've seen on my travels. So, I hope you'll make yourself comfortable. Let the worries of the day just melt away. There is plenty of time. It truly warms my old heart to have you here with me. Let's begin, shall we? Ho, ho, ho! I have a question for you. Have you ever received a card in the mail during the holiday season? One that makes you smile the moment you see the familiar handwriting on the envelope? It's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? A little piece of warmth and good cheer arriving right at your doorstep. It's a tradition that connects so many of us across the miles. A simple piece of paper that carries a powerful message of love and remembrance. But this way of sending greetings wasn't always around. Oh no, I remember when it started, clear as a frosty morning. It was back in 1843 in England. There was a very thoughtful but very busy man named Sir Henry Cole. He had so many friends he cared for, but so little time to write a personal letter to each one. He thought, and then he had a splendid idea. He asked an artist to create a single beautiful card with a picture of a family and a simple, heartfelt message, "A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you." He had many copies made and sent them to all his friends. And just like that, a new tradition was born. Ho, ho! What a clever and kind solution! And look at it now. From that one man's idea, millions upon millions of cards travel the world each year. Each one is a little spark, a reminder that even when we are far apart, we are still held in each other's thoughts. It is a tradition that says, "I am thinking of you," in a way you can hold in your hands and place on your mantelpiece all season long. What a beautiful, simple way to share the spirit of Christmas. Well now,
It's always such a joy to look through the mail. The letters are wonderful, of course, but the questions people ask, they are like little sparks of wonder, traveling all the way here to the North Pole. I have a couple right here that I thought we could ponder together. This first one comes from a young lady named Ava, who is 9 years old. Ava asks, "Do you have a special mug for your hot cocoa? And if so, what is its story?" What a lovely question, Ava. Yes, I do. It's not made of fancy porcelain. Oh no. It's carved from the wood of a great North Pole pine that stood near our very first workshop. It's worn smooth from many, many years of use. Mrs. Claus carved it for me herself long, long ago. She etched little swirling patterns into the side that looked just like the winter wind dancing across the snow. Every time I fill it with cocoa, the warmth seems to go right to my heart. It's more than just a mug. It's a memory. And here is another one from a very thoughtful stargazer named Dr. Aris Thorne, who I'm told is an astronomer. Dr. Thorne asks, "Can the northern lights be heard as well as seen from your workshop? And does it sound like faint, beautiful music?" A marvelous question from a fellow skywatcher. The answer, Dr. Thorne, is yes. But it is not a sound you hear with your ears alone. You must be very still and listen with your whole heart. When the colors dance across the sky, there is a low, soft hum that you can feel right through the workshop walls. The elves say it is the sound of starlight stretching. Sometimes, when a particularly bright ribbon of green appears, it sounds like the faintest whisper of silk or the distant chiming of tiny crystal bells. It is a quiet music for a quiet and wonder-filled world. Ava, Dr. Thorne, thank you both for such wonderful thoughts. And to all of you out there who keep wondering, who keep looking up at the sky and into your own hearts for answers, please never stop. Curiosity is the truest magic there is. It keeps the world bright. Of all the countless traditions here at the North Pole, my very favorite is one that just the two of us share. It's a quiet little ceremony that Mrs. Claus and I have, and it always fills my heart to the brim. Every year, on the very first night of December, we walk out together to the reindeer stables. The air is so crisp you can almost hear it sparkle, and the reindeer are just settling in for the night. And in her hands, Mrs. Claus carries a small silver box. Now, that box is a wonder all its own. No matter how warm my workshop gets from the roaring fire, that little box is always cold to the touch. She'll open it so carefully, and inside, resting on velvet the exact color of the twilight sky just after a snowfall, is a single perfect snowflake. It's from the very first winter we spent together at the pole, preserved by a bit of old magic. We stand there side by side and hold it up to the dancing northern lights. As the colors wash over it, the snowflake begins to glow with a soft, beautiful light of its own. Ho, ho, ho! That's the moment. That's when we know the final rush to Christmas has truly begun. It's not a loud announcement, you see. It's a quiet promise between us, a reminder of where we started and of the wonderful, important work we have ahead. It reminds me every single year that the greatest magic of all is having someone to share the journey with. With all the careful work and planning that fills our days here at the North Pole, we find that a good-natured chuckle can make everything feel a little brighter. I've collected a few little jests over the years, and I thought I might share one or two with you. All right, here is the first one. Why was the little snowman crying? Do you have an idea? Because he was having a meltdown. Oh dear, we always make sure our snow friends have a shady spot under a fir tree to keep them quite cheerful. Here's another one for you, a favorite in the workshop. What do you call an elf who sings? A rapper. And you should hear them. Their voices, all singing together while they work, are one of the most wonderful sounds in the world. Now for the last one. Let me think. Ah, yes. What do you get when you cross a bell with a skunk? Jingle smells. Oh my, that one is a bit silly, isn't it? A good thing the sleigh bells only carry the scent of crisp winter air and a hint of gingerbread. It's good to share a laugh. It's a wonderful kind of magic, you see. A little bit of shared happiness that warms you from the inside out. Always remember to make room for joy. It is one of the very best gifts of all. Ho, 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 ho! There are wonders at the North Pole that are as old as the snow and as quiet as a falling star. People often ask me, Santa, how do you speak with the reindeer? It is a good question, and the answer is one of my favorite secrets. We call it the whisper winds of kinship. You see, we don't use words, not in the way you might think. Up here, where the world is so still, the very air listens. When I stand with my magnificent friends, with Dasher or Comet or dear Rudolph, I simply think. I will send out a thought of gratitude, a feeling of pride for a practice run well flown. And the wind, oh, the wind catches it. It takes my kindest thoughts and my warmest wishes and weaves them into a current that only the reindeer can feel. It carries my feelings not to their ears, but straight to their hearts. It is a language of pure feeling, of deep understanding. They know my encouragement as a welcome warmth. They understand my guidance as a steady, certain presence. Not a single sound is ever made, but everything is said. Ho, ho, ho! It is a beautiful thing. And it is this quiet, unbreakable bond, this silent conversation we have all year long that makes our grand flight possible. It is one of the many small, profound miracles that all work in harmony on that one magical Christmas Eve. A true wonder indeed.
Now and then, a letter arrives that makes me sit back in my chair and smile for a long, long time. This is one of those. It even came with a wonderful drawing made with bright crayons. A quiet street with a single perfect snowman standing watch. Let's see what it says here. Dear Santa, my family moved. My new street is very quiet. I drew you a picture of it. There's a snowman on our lawn, but he looks a little lonely. School is big. Sometimes I feel like I'm invisible. For Christmas, I don't need a toy. I was thinking, the elves at the North Pole all seem like such good friends. They work together and are always happy. So I was wondering, if you had a book of elf secrets on how to be a good friend. If I knew the secrets, maybe I wouldn't be so invisible. Thank you. Sam, age 8. My dear Sam, what a wonderfully wise wish. You see, most ask for a friend, but you have asked how to be a friend. That is a gift that lasts a lifetime. You are right, the elves are the best of friends, but their book of secrets, well, it has no pages and no words. The great elf secret is simply this, a shared smile. It's helping someone who has dropped their crayons. It's asking someone about the picture they are drawing. It is listening. That's the most powerful magic of all, you know, to truly listen when someone speaks. It tells them, I see you. You are not invisible to me. Friendship, you see, is built just like that wonderful snowman of yours. It starts with one small, packed snowball of kindness. Then you add another and another. Before you know it, you've built something strong and happy that brings joy to the whole street. So, Sam, you don't need a book from me. You already hold the secret right there in your own kind heart. Just let it shine. I promise you, someone is out there, just waiting for a friend exactly like you. Ho, 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 ho!
I do so enjoy a good puzzle. It's a wonderful way to look at the world from a different angle for a moment. I have a couple here I think you might like. Let's see. Here is the first one. It's a figure made of winter's white fluff, with a carrot for a nose and a scarf for its stuff. It stands in the cold, but has a warm, happy soul, even though its body is made from packed snow. What is it? Oh, that's a lovely one. I see these cheerful fellows in yards all over the world. Now, if you need a little clue, this happy friend might melt if the sun gets a bit too warm. Did you guess it? I'm sure you did. It's a snowman. There's a special magic in them, I think. Each one is a little bit of winter joy, built with chilly hands and warm hearts. All right, are you ready for another one? This one is very special to me. I have a magical vehicle that travels the sky, pulled by a team of reindeer that fly. It's filled with toys for every good girl and boy, and its arrival brings the world so much joy. What is it? Ho, ho, ho! Well, that one brings a smile to my face. Here's a little clue if you need one. This happy friend might melt if the sun gets a bit too warm. Did you guess it? I'm sure you did. It's my sleigh. There is no sound in the world quite like those sleigh bells ringing out across a silent, snowy landscape. It's the sound of happiness on its way. Wasn't that fun? A good riddle is like a little gift for the mind, all wrapped up in wonder.
You know, Mrs. Claus and I have found the most wonderful little project to share. Right up on the workshop roof, we keep a small garden. It's not for carrots or potatoes. Oh no, we grow Glimmer berries. They're marvelous little things that sparkle with a light all their own, a bit like tiny captured stars. We were out there just the other day, the air crisp and cold, making sure they were all happy. But there was one little bush tucked away in a corner that was being particularly shy. Not a single one of its berries would shine for us. Well, I thought, perhaps it just needs a bit of encouragement. So I leaned in and told it one of my jolliest stories, the one about the little elf who accidentally invented bouncing boots. I finished with a grand flourish, expecting a burst of light, but nothing, not a singly glimmer. The bush just sat there, quiet as a mouse in mittens. Then Mrs. Claus, she just smiled that wonderful smile of hers. She didn't say a word. Instead, she started to hum. It was a simple, quiet tune, one I've heard her hum for centuries while she stitches my coat. And that's when the magic happened. One little berry, right at the very top, began to glow with a soft, warm light. Then another next to it, and another, until a wave of shimmering light washed over the entire plant. Soon the whole bush was twinkling, a silent chorus of light answering her song. Ho, ho, ho! It was just the most beautiful thing to see. It's a fine reminder, isn't it? Sometimes the grandest magic doesn't come from a booming story, but from a quiet song shared together. It truly does.
Ah, the air is growing crisp, isn't it? It always makes me think of the wonderful smells that fill our village workshops and kitchens. It reminds me of a tale I think you might enjoy. It's a story we all know well up here, called The Baker and the Spice of Memory. Here at the North Pole, we have an elf named Barnaby, who is, without a doubt, the finest baker I have ever known. His Starlight cookies are famous. But one year, a strange thing happened. The cookies looked the same, they smelled wonderful, but the special taste, that little bit of magic, it was gone. Barnaby was in a terrible state. He checked every single jar of spice. He measured every ingredient 12 times. But every batch was the same. Good, but not magical. Just as he was about to hang up his apron for the season, a very wise old elf came to his bakery. She watched him for a moment and then said, "Barnaby, the spice you are missing cannot be found on a shelf." He looked so puzzled. She smiled and pointed to his heart. "It's in here," she said. "Try again, but this time, as you bake,
Think of your happiest Christmas memories. Let them be your guide. Well, Barnaby decided to try. As he creamed the butter and sugar, he remembered the laughter of his friends as they decorated the village square. As he added the flour, he thought of the warmth of the workshop fire on a snowy evening. With each memory, a little more love, a little more care went into the dough. When the cookies came out of the oven, the scent was more wonderful than ever. He took a bite and his eyes lit up. Ho, ho, ho! The magic was back! He learned something important that day. The most important ingredient was never in a jar. It was the love, the joy, the memories. And that is the truth in everything we do this time of year. Whatever you are creating, whatever traditions you hold dear, the real magic comes from the love you put into it. That is the spice that makes everything feel like Christmas.
I was just looking out the window toward the stables, and it put a thought in my head. After all these years, the reindeer still managed to make me chuckle with their unique personalities. It got me thinking about some of my favorite and funniest of their little habits. Ho ho! At the top of my list would have to be Comet's Snow Snort. When he gets particularly excited about something, a fresh blanket of snow, a visit from an Arctic hare, he lets out this little puff of air through his nose. But instead of just air, it sends a tiny cloud of sparkling snow into the air. Each one is a perfect, happy little poof that just floats there for a moment. Then there's Dance's pre-flight warm-up wiggle. Every single time, just as we're about to lift off, she gets a little bounce in her step. It's not a big, dramatic leap, but a happy little jig that makes all the bells on her harness jingle together in a cheerful, jumbled melody. It's her own little song to tell me she's ready for our grand adventure. And I must mention Vixen's way of trying to catch snowflakes on her tongue. When the first big, fluffy flakes of winter begin to fall, she'll stand perfectly still, tilt her head back, and get the look of the most intense concentration I've ever seen. She takes it so seriously, as if each and every snowflake is a special treat from the sky, made just for her. You see, Comet's little clouds, Dance's jingles, Vixen's quiet game. They're more than just funny habits. They're the little sparks of joy and personality that make each of them so very special. They remind me that it's often the smallest, simplest things that hold the most happiness. my dear Mrs. Claus. She is the true heart of the North Pole. She has a way of seeing the world that always reminds me what is most important. Just the other evening, I had finished my rounds checking on the reindeer and came inside to warm my toes. The workshop was quiet, and I found her sitting in her favorite rocking chair, the fire crackling and popping. In her hands, she held one of my oldest, most comfortable woolen socks, the red one with the worn-down heel. She was carefully darning it with a needle and thread. "Ho, ho, ho!" I said to her. "My love, you shouldn't trouble yourself with that. The elves would be happy to weave me a dozen new pairs in a jiffy." She looked up from her work, a little smile playing on her lips. She held up the sock for me to see the neat, careful stitches she was making. And then she said something I shall never forget. She said, "A mended sock is warmer than a new one, for it's patched with care." And in that moment I understood completely. It wasn't about the sock at all, you see. It was about the love woven into every stitch. It's a good lesson to hold on to. The things we take the time to mend, whether it's a favorite toy or a friendship, often become the most precious things we own. They carry our stories with them.
I've been sitting here for a little while, just watching the golden ink appear on the pages of the great ledger. It's a wonderful sight. Each new story that writes itself is another flicker of light in the world. And oh, there is one here that has warmed my heart so. I simply must share it with you. My gaze is drawn to a city I know well, Toronto. The snow is falling thick and fast there, blanketing everything in a beautiful, deep quiet. In a lovely little neighborhood where the rooftops are all capped with white, a family has been working together. They have been gathering wood and straw and warm blankets, not for themselves, but for the little wanderers, the quiet ones who have no home of their own, the neighborhood cats. They've built small, sturdy shelters tucked away in safe corners of their yard. Each one is a tiny haven, a promise of warmth against the biting Canadian winter. A safe, warm place for a little creature to curl up and be safe when the wind howls and the snow piles high. Ho, ho, ho! Oh, that is something special. You see, kindness like this, it doesn't look for applause. It doesn't ask for anything in return. It simply sees a need, a shiver in the cold, a soul in search of shelter, and it acts. To care for a creature that cannot thank you in words, well, that is one of the purest forms of love there is. It is a quiet promise that we are all in this world together, looking after one another. It fills my old heart with such hope to see things like this. It is a reminder that the world is full of quiet love, of simple, powerful goodness. An entry like this shines so brightly on the page. A beautiful entry indeed, truly beautiful.
Ho, ho, ho! You know, in my many, many journeys around the world, I've had the great joy of seeing how the spirit of Christmas shines in countless different ways. Every home has its own special glow, its own unique customs that make the season bright. It's a beautiful sight to behold from my sleigh. One of the traditions that always warms my heart is from the lovely country of Ukraine. On their Christmas trees, you might see something that sparkles in the light in a most wonderful way. A delicate spider web. They call them pavochki. There's a beautiful old story that explains it. It tells of a family who had very little, but whose love for each other was abundant. They had a small tree for Christmas, but no ornaments to decorate it with. They went to sleep, hoping for a little bit of holiday magic. During the night, the house spiders, seeing the family's kindness, decided to help. They worked all night, weaving the most intricate and beautiful webs all over the bare branches of the tree. When the family woke on Christmas morning, the first rays of sunlight streamed in and turned the webs into shimmering threads of silver and gold. What a magical sight that must have been! And so today, finding a beautiful spiderweb ornament on the tree is seen as a sign of good luck and fortune for the year ahead. It just goes to show, doesn't it? The spirit of giving and kindness can come from anywhere, even from the smallest of creatures. It's a wonderful reminder that love and hope are the most beautiful decorations of all, no matter where you are in the world. Ho, ho, ho! A truly lovely thought.